Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 3 of my crafting podcast here at DLR Design Studio. It's been a while since I've done this. We've had things going on, but I'm here and we're going to do the third one. Anybody who's new, my podcast, my crafting podcast, is where I show y'all things that I've been working on. I like to sew and crochet. Those are the main things I do right now. Quilting is one of my big sewing, making quilts, especially crazy quilts and stuff. And for those of you who have been around from watching my previous episodes, whenever I was talking about the quilting that I did not like binding, well, let me just say, I think I finally got the binding down. I've actually got 3 things that I've done that I've put binding on. 2 of the quilts, well, 2 of them are quilts and they were already pretty much made. They were one of those, I guess you buy it already made and you just finish it. But I put the binding on those and it doesn't look half bad. At least I don't think it does. It looks way better than my other binding projects I've done. And then the third thing is a table topper. Actually, I have 2 table toppers that I've done and finished, so those I'll be showing you guys. So what's been going on? One reason why I haven't done this is, for one, I haven't really had the house to myself lately, and our dog Crystal, she's 9 years old and she was diagnosed with heartworms. No, I didn't have her on HeartGuard. I'm a bad dog mom, I'm sorry, now I know, but we did get her in time and they are able to treat it. She's already started some treatment, but the big treatment is going to be coming starting in December, where they will be giving her the shots that are actually going to kill the worms, and then I guess her body will absorb them. So one of the items that I actually made too, I'll be showing y'all because it's for her. So let's see, I'm going to start with unfinished objects, which is that crocheted sweater that I've been working on. I ran out of yarn, so let me grab that real quick. Alright, for those of you who have been following me, you know I've been working on this for a friend of mine, this crocheted sweater, and I've made some pretty good progress. I got one sleeve done. I gotta weave in the ends. And then I started on the second sleeve and I ran out of yarn right here. So now I thought I had some more of this yarn, but I don't. So I have to try to find some and buy it to finish this sweater for her, especially since winter's coming. So that's my unfinished object and the only crocheted item that I have right now, because I have really been on sewing. Now that I've got the binding down, for quilts, I really need to work on quilting. So let's move on over to the sewing objects, quilting objects, whatever you want to call them. And I'll show you the first thing that I did that I put binding on. And some of these still have strings attached, sorry. So this was actually this piece was already put together. I had gotten a bunch of stuff from my husband's aunt, a bunch of crafting stuff, and this was one of the things in there. So the quilt was already made, just had to put the binding on it. So I don't know if you can really see, but I don't think, some spots I did kind of on the back. I pulled the binding too far onto the front, but it's not too bad. I gotta learn not to, I'm just wanting to like pull it more and more, and I'm trying to, I don't know how to put it, get my judgment right, I guess you could say, for the binding. So that's that. And then the second thing that I did, which is another one of those quilts it's pre-made, you buy it pre-made, and you just finish it by putting the binding on, and this was something else that was in there. And I made this one for my granddaughter. I didn't say, but the brown one is going to be for Thanksgiving. It's going to go on one of my tables for Thanksgiving. I know the colors are kind of ugly, but that's as close to Thanksgiving colors as I'm going to get right now. But this one, it's pretty big. like I said, I did this one for my granddaughter, and I did the binding. This one I did a much better job on. Look at them quarters. That's not bad. Sorry, I keep thinking I'm looking at the camera over here, and I need to realize the camera's over here. Alright, so yeah, getting better at it. Then I did, actually the other finished quilting item that I did, I need to go get, because I did not bring it in here with me. So give me just a moment. Alright, this is a table topper that I started, oh my gosh, probably about a year or so ago. And what I did was I just took some, I don't remember what size squares these were. I think these were 6-inch squares, and just sewed them all together. It's kind of like the fruity, vegetable-y look, whatever. This is the back of it. And on this one, I just did a straight stitch to hold it kind of together for the quilting. And then I added the binding, which I actually, on this one, let me turn around, sorry. I did like a scrappy binding. I sewed a bunch of different 2.5-inch strips together to make kind of a scrappy binding. I tried to incorporate the colors that was already in this. So there's that. And then the other table topper, I did, actually I think I did it in like well, it probably took me a couple of days to make it. But I did this one for Halloween and fall. It's a pumpkin. I love it. It's a little wonky. It's not perfectly squared or anything, but I don't care. I love it. And on this, what I did was I used, oh, what size squares did I use? 3-inch squares, I think it was. You know, as you can see, in different like oranges and browns for fall. And then made the stem and the binding. This binding it was actually out of a like an upholstery material, I think, or whatever. Yeah. So, but as you can see, the quilting is not the greatest. I really need to work on my quilting. This is the back of it. But now that I got the binding down, I'm going to work on the quilting more. So that's my finished sewing objects. And in between working, especially working on this pumpkin table topper, I have been working on kind of a wonky log cabin, some wonky log cabin Christmas blocks out of different, been trying to incorporate reds and greens, and I'm gonna these are gonna finish at 6 inches because I'm gonna square them, or I'm gonna square them up at 6 inches. Right now they're not even at all. They got to be squared and all that. And this one, just been using all kinds of different, like I said, types of fabric or prints, and they're not cut any particular size or anything like that. I've just been grabbing out of my little scrap drawers. I have 2 of them by my one sewing machine, and just cutting them kind of wonky to fit. And there's another one. I know a lot of these are showing some of the same prints. I had to go through and find more colors, like reds. I'm trying to mostly do reds, greens, and whites. I mean, there is some blues and stuff in there. I don't know why I keep turning it like it's going to make any difference. And then I don't know if I want to do these as a blanket. Sorry, y'all, my hair's going crazy. Or a table topper. Because table toppers, of course, are a lot faster. And the reason I don't do a table runner is because the table that we use in our kitchen is just a smaller round table. So one of these square ones, like this pumpkin one, and that other one that I made, would work better on that one, because it's small and round. Now, in our den, which is where I mostly sew, we have a oblong, I guess you would call it an oblong table, that we had gotten from my husband's aunt. And I was using it for my crafting table for a little while, and I've got it cleared off, and we have a bunch of people coming for Thanksgiving, so I'm going to, decorate it, and I'm actually thinking about making another quilt per se, in fall colors to go on that table, since I already have that brown one for the brown one for the round table, because that's where that one's going to go. I want one to cover this table in here, because we're going to have almost 20 people here at Thanksgiving. That's a lot, which it's nothing new. We have a big family, and we all like to get together, especially at the holidays. So, but getting back to the crafting, been working on these Christmas blocks, and I also, my son and his fiance got me, or somebody was giving away a vintage Singer sewing machine. It's one of them black cast iron. I'll see if I can do a picture, but that joker is heavy. I got it cleaned up and it works. I started sewing on it yesterday and started making these things. I'm using 4-inch squares and just taking some 2-inch strips and attaching it to these to make like a sashing. And I think what I'll do is it'll have sashing on both sides. Let's see, that one's not going to go together. But like, I just kind of want to do it in kind of a, like this. And then also across the top, it'll have sashing, and on the bottom. And just put it together. I don't like to think whenever it comes to this stuff. I mean, when it comes to patterns and you're having to measure specifically and think and plan it out, I don't like it. I am going to make a planned out quilt eventually, which, I mean, the pumpkin was planned out and I did that all by myself. But stuff like this, the crazy looking, no rhyme or reason to it, I love it. So I've been working on these on that sewing machine that my son and his fiance gave me. And where they got it from, I don't think I finished telling that. I think it's somebody that works next door to where my son works or whatever. They work, I guess, cleaning out like a storage shed or something, and was like, hey, do y'all know anybody who would want this sewing machine? It's old. They're like, yes. So that was kind of my late birthday present. They brought it in and they were trying to surprise me. And I walked right past it and they were like looking, going like, down there, because they had it sitting on the floor. The thing's heavy. And it came in its own case. Actually, I'll show you the case that it came in. This is the lid. If this tells you how old it is. And the machine sits on the base, and this attaches, and you can take the machine off the base, and everything. But I got it out yesterday. Sorry. I got it out yesterday and wanted to use it. So I had already cleaned it up when they gave it to me. And I think the only thing that really needs to be done is the bobbin. It's got one of those shuttle bobbins. The tension on it needs to be adjusted. So I'm going to have to look through YouTube and try to find a video on how to adjust the tension and stuff. But I mean, other than that, it sews great. Like, these blocks are not, well, this one's a little, it's kind of wanting to bunch up, but I think it's because some of this material is thinner than other. You see, you can't see the stitching on there, but you can see it on, well, I'm trying to find one. Like, this is the bottom, like this is the top stitches. Let me get over here. I'm getting confused where my camera is here. Is it going to focus? There we go. See how the top stitches look great, but the back stitches, I don't know. They just, let me see if it's going to focus, you guys. Come on, focus for me. Focus. It's not going to focus, but it's not too bad. But I mean, I'm not a professional when it comes to these vintage machines, so I don't know exactly how they're supposed to really sew. But I mean, it's holding together. It's not coming apart. So I've been working on these blocks on that one, and then on my regular sewing machine that I use, it's a Janome New Home that I got from my husband's aunt. It's in a big, came in its own table and everything. So it's really nice, and that's what I've been sewing my Christmas blocks on. But yeah, with these right here, I just been Halloween and Christmas. I get a lot of my, I guess I could say, inspiration, whatever, from Bonnie Hunter. She's a fabulous quilter. She's a scrap quilter. She's wrote books. She does patterns. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I love watching her quilt cam. And she's like, it's just fabric, you know. And if her famous, what I really like is she says if the fabric is ugly, cut it down. If it's still ugly, keep it ain't cut small enough, or you know, something like that. So I've got a bunch of these made, and I think this is going to be just kind of a quilt with the different types of, you know, like the sashing, and I might put a border around it. I don't know. I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing, you know, what happens. I'm kind of like Bonnie says, I'm letting the quilt tell me what it wants or talk to me or whatever. So I did not show y'all what I made for Crystal. That was one of my finished objects. I'm so sorry. Because with her going through her heartworm treatment, I wanted to make her something special. Because, like I said, she's gonna be on doggy bed rest, I guess you could say, for about 8 weeks after her last treatment. And so I want her to have something special to lay on, and she loves getting on our beds. So I was like, I'm gonna make her her own bed. So let me show you guys her bed real quick. All right, you guys, this is the bed that I made her. Excuse the lighting in here, but like I said, let me get a close up. I just did a bunch of crazy quilt blocks and different fabrics and everything and designs, and sewed them all together. And even on, like, I had to do a border because I wanted it to be big enough. Y'all can see she's been laying on it. It's got her hair. But I wanted it to be big enough, of course, for her to curl up on, or if she wanted to stretch out. This right here, this border is actually made from like a polyester knit, some strips that I had gotten from a lady who was giving away a bunch of fabric. So yeah, that's the bed. She does use it, though she still tries to get on our stuff. And real quick, I thought I would show y'all, this is the sewing machine that my son and his fiance got and gave me. Like I said, this thing works wonderful. I've been trying to find videos and stuff on it. I figured out how to thread it, and now I'm going to have to watch for the, find a video for doing the bobbin, because I know that bobbin's not, it's the original bobbin that was in there when we got it. So, but this is it. Like I said, it's in really good shape. I love this machine. Alright, so I think that's about everything that I've got to show you guys. I know Halloween's this weekend, and I hope that everybody has a safe and fun Halloween. I don't know yet what I'm doing. I think I want to watch some scary movies and just kind of hang out and eat candy and popcorn, and you know, we'll see. But I guess I'm going to go till next time. Hopefully it's not going to be that long between this episode and the next, but like I said, I like to do these when I have the house to myself. I don't want any background noise or anything, because I don't want to edit these videos. I don't know how to do it, and I just don't want to. So until next time, I will see you guys later. I hope everyone stays safe and stays healthy, and see you later.